We are living in a time when not owning physical gold and silver goes hand in hand with not knowing monetary history and not understanding how our current debt-based monetary system operates. There's also a 95% chance that your neighbor can give you the score to the big game before he could tell you that central banks around the world are currently selling US government bonds at the fastest pace on record. Not that it really matters though, because the average American has been led to believe that the lender of last resort, also known as the Federal Reserve, who is not federal and has no reserves, can just print its way to prosperity using Alice in Wonderland economics. 0% interest rates and $3.5 trillion in currency creation does wonders for the average American's perception of the economy. The main purpose of this video is to update you on China and Russia's recent gold purchases. But before we get into that, I would like to mention a few other things. Remember the $187 trillion derivative positions held by the 6 largest banks in 2008, which helped create the collapse with collateralized debt obligations, or CDOs, credit default swaps, or CDSs, or collateralized mortgage obligations, otherwise known as CMOs. Fast forward to now, and those 6 banks have increased their exposure to $278 trillion in derivatives. Moving on to our central bank gold buying update. In June, Russia added 24 tons of gold to its reserves, 13 tons in July, and a whopping 31.1 tons in August. Their official gold reserves now stand at 1,317 tons, and since 2005 they have more than tripled their gold reserves. China, on the other hand, added 19.3 tons in July, 16.2 tons in August, and just reported 15.1 tons added in September. China is close to tripling its reserves since 2005. In June of this year, we learned that China had increased its gold reserves by 57% since 2009, when they had last reported. This brought them up to 1,658 tons from 1,054. After following the gold imports into China for over 5 years, I was expecting them to say that they had at least 4,000 tons, because since 2009, they have mined over 2,000 tons and imported over 4,000 tons of gold through Hong Kong. I don't believe the official number, but nonetheless, an incredible amount of gold has made its way into China in the past few years. Oddly enough, I have actually viewed China and Russia as my financial advisors because I know they can see the writing on the wall. Over the past 4 years, as the paper price of gold and silver has fallen, the average American has been led to believe that it is nothing more than a bad investment, like coal or oil. I believe that we are in for massive amounts of money printing still to come, as well as negative interest rates, like some European countries have seen. I also believe that as this plays out, people will learn that what they have been led to believe was just a bad investment is actually money. And as gold and silver rise, they will eventually expose the fraud and deceit in the world financial system over the past 100 years. My opinion is that gold and silver are your lifeboats, as they are no one's liability. In a world where everything, including the money in your pocket, is someone else's liability.